Welcome back, everybody, to Hearthstone Global Games. It is Group F, but it is not an F in terms of the players and teams on display. It is, in fact, probably, without, I don't want to argue with Derek this early in the morning, but it is probably the toughest group in the entire thing. We just saw Norway grind their way to a win. Derek, do you think they can do the same against Italy?
I think they definitely got what it takes. It's pretty much up for debate as to what the absolute best of the best team here in Global Games is, but Norway's definitely in the discussion. They're one of the two or three I would consider right there up at the top. And so, absolutely, they've got what it takes to take down the entire event. We saw how well they did last year in the getting right to the finals at BlizzCon before ultimately losing. But yeah, as I was saying, it's a different team for them now with only 2 players instead of the 4 they had last year, but I still think they've got what it takes to take the whole thing.
Yeah, you can't disagree. It's teams of 2, and one of your team is Hunter Ace, and NTR's been around forever as well, so there'll be lots of team synergy there on top of that. I really can't have any argument with that. That being said, Italy played really well yesterday. They were very precise.
They did,
even in their games where they didn't do so well, they were still precise with all their ordering and everything, which is really important. We've seen other teams struggle with that because of the nature of the tournament, I think.
And also, I was thinking about this while Norway were playing, before we get into the actual games, kind of a random aside point, but I was talking about countries that would speak English instead of their native tongue.
Yes.
I wonder if Norway would do that, because Hunter Ace and NTR obviously both speak perfect English, and Hunter Ace was saying that, he's, obviously he speaks perfect Norwegian as well, he is Norwegian, but when he talks about Hearthstone, he messes up and keeps going back to English instead of using the Norwegian names for cards or concepts within Hearthstone. So I wonder.
Maybe you can do some digging with your good friend Casper.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if
he
was watching earlier. If you are still watching, tell me, Casper. I'm curious. Yeah. Either way, jumping into the game here between Italy, we got a shaman and we've got a priest. What a rivetingly innovative game of Hearthstone here.
I mean, there is a novice engineer in the Italian deck.
Oh, are they playing novice? Oh.
Yeah, they're playing 1.
Good on them. That's what I was trying to run for a while. I mean, I'm sure I wasn't the first person. I definitely wasn't the first person to think of it, but I did think of it independently of anyone else. Even though I did it quite slowly.
It does feel like you need card draw in this deck just occasionally when you run into those. There's so much good stuff in there that the 1 or 2 bad cards really stand out. And yeah, a novice, just to get into more of that good stuff, find that bloodlust that you're desperate for. I still don't know how good it is. If it was that good, everyone would be playing it. But yeah, Italy have decided to go with 1, which is cool.
I mean, it's not good, is the answer. But the 29th and 30th cards in Token Shaman are not good. Because at first, everyone was playing the double lightning bolt, and then people realized, oh, wait a second, I'm not drawing my Evolve from my Spirit of the Frog. I want to change this list. So they got rid of lightning bolts, and most players don't play any now. And then they started putting lightning storms in because it was good against Shaman, but that's only really good on ladder when there's a whole bunch of Shamans. In Conquest, you want to do something a bit different, which is why I think Spirit of the Frog, Novice Engineer is a fine option.
Yeah,
it's nothing. It's just a neutral card.
As we just completely ignore the game on the screen, because you can see that for yourselves, that it's just progressing as this game always does, although there is that double Mogu to keep an eye on, versus an amazing priest hand. Norway are running that 1 Bolt and 2 Voltaic Burst in their Shaman, and that's interesting to me, because that chance of finding the Evolve does go right down. It makes a big difference, just that 1 card.
Big development here, though, with the second Zap being found. If Turner can if he can win the 50-50 here and hit the second Voltaic Burst instead of the
we can play Burst
instead of the Evolve, he will be able to play both Mogus and Evolve on this turn.
So he's going for, and he gets it.
Well, no, that's the bad one. That's what he does.
Sorry. Yeah, he wants. I can't add up to 2. It's too early. Yeah. He wants the burst to fill the board, obviously.
He can go Burst, Mogu, Evolve, but he can't play both Mogu plus Evolve. The downside.
Yeah.
But the important thing is he can still clear off the High Priest Amet here. It's still an insanely powerful card.
Yeah, and against Priest often, I mean, obviously this is a reasonable Evolve, but you just want to be wide. If you've got a 2-3, it's fine, because you've got your 8-8 boy to clean up anything bad that's happening. And if you've got a 2-3 and a 4-4 just chilling there, that's fine. You can pick off all of the priest minions.
Oh yes, this is absolute dream town. for Turner here. This is molto bene, and Hunter Ace has got his work cut out from trying to pull this one back. Like resurrecting an Amet is like, maybe, but it's just cleared on board. It's just value traded on board.
Yeah, it's exactly what he was setting up to do last turn, with the hope that if something nutty like this happened, he'd be able to sort it out. But it's too nutty, and no, not happening. So now he's got to make another plan, which just makes that Psycho Pump so much worse in the future. He doesn't even buy him time if he plays it now. It doesn't achieve anything. Yeah, you've got to kill them quick, or you are so dead.
Giga dead is, I believe, what
they're dead next turn. If they don't kill something or make a taunt, they're actually just dead on. Well, we can see they're dead in hand.
Overloaded. They weren't going to play Bloodlust.
This is true. I hate
next couple
players managers being shown. So yeah, same deal though. They just kill this off, and they have the Soul of the Murlocs to make sure they can kill it off.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
It's 1-0 to this Shaman.
They did the thing, and Priest could not fight back against it. It's kind of just the way these decks work, because it's the hierarchy of brokenness. Like when a deck does its most broken thing, can anything beat it? And like beforehand, if Priest did its most broken thing, nothing could beat it, pretty much. But now, if Shaman does its most broken thing, nothing can beat it. The most broken Priest hand does not beat the most broken Shaman hand.
And Norway were one turn away from having the most broken nonsense you could imagine happening.
Yeah.
It was all set up nicely, and you just got to hope that they didn't have all the crazy.
But they did.
Yeah, we're now down to the... Tell you what, please don't have Bloodlust and let us live one more turn.
Hey, I got you, friend.
Yeah, like Shaman never had Bloodlust.
Good one. Top bloomin' keck. Alright, there we go. 1-0 to Turner, 1-0 to Italy. We have the first game out of the way. And now we can move on to what, in my opinion, are these slightly more interesting matchups. It is going to be, for now, Italy with their Shaman out of the way, the Warrior and the Rogue left for them. And as I was saying here, I feel like the weak spot for Italy will be the Rogue. For a lot of players, that has just been the falling point for them along the way. Because I would say, as you can see on the bottom there, Italy have a pretty good matchup against the Priest with their Rogue, I would argue. But against the Shaman and the Druid, it could really struggle.
It definitely could, although it is the Questing Adventurer Rogue, which is a little bit different to the Shark Rogue, obviously, in that it's just that bit quicker. So against these sort of mid-rangey speeds, well, N'Zoth Warrior is not mid-rangey. I thought it was banned for some reason. Against these mid-rangey speeds, that's not quite so bad. It gives them some chance. But first of all, they're going to lose with their Warrior against the Druid. Although this is not the Druid hand you want. It still has the Starfall and the Nourish, though. You get going. Really, unless the Warrior just piles minions all over the board, it is so hard to beat Druid as Warrior right now. It's almost like 2015 all over again, the other way around. The same way around.
Right, yeah. It does feel like Druid is in a pretty fantastic spot here. Looking at NTR's list, he of course has a Baleful Banker version that they were playing earlier on in the day, along with a slightly heavier top end than some of the other teams like Germany have been going for. There's still the King Feoris in there, still the Cenarius in there, which some players have even been going as far as to cut both of those top end minions.
Yeah, it's very much, apart from the fact they've sort of thrown in a Banker and a Flute, because a lot of people think that's great, and I don't disagree. They've basically just gone with the same deck it's been for some time. They've taken out one Hidden Oasis, which is pretty common now. Dropped one Swipe, which is pretty common now. And that is actually a feature of Hunter Ace's play over the last 2 years. He gets the best decks and plays them really well. I know NTR's playing now, but just as a Hunter Ace comment. He doesn't really innovate hugely. He innovates with lineups and in which 4 decks to bring quite a lot. But he doesn't innovate within the decks that much. And that seems to work. I mean, Orange does very similar style of play, right? Take the decks, learn how to play them, bosh.
But while we've been talking about the late game for NTR, which is again infinite banker nonsense that you can go for right at the end, the counterplay I would argue for Letta is, you know, to an extent removal that can buy you time. Eventually, the infinite value from NTR will be able to overwhelm him. So the best chance I think here for Letta to be able to take this game is Hakar. To be able to go for Hakar in the mid game, get those bloods shuffled into NTR's deck, and once that happens, if you have 2 bloods in your deck, you can say goodbye to Zephyrus and Elise. They do not work anymore.
And yeah, exactly. Druid does have a small weak spot as well, just before it hits the end of its deck.
That's true. That is
It's
true.
usually sort of run out of stuff by that time, because even though the cards it has are very powerful, there are a lot of nourishes and things in there, and you do slowly get them out of cards. And then, like 2 turns before they finish their deck, if you can play a medium-sized N'Zoth, there's just a little weak spot in the armor there. But like you say, Hakar will be the main thing. Norway will be looking to just burn the blood, though, if it gets to that point. All depends on what they have at the time.
Let's say for the moment, though, while he is obviously thinking about Hakar late game, at the moment he's thinking about, let's just win board. If the Druid can't play anything, we may as well try and develop as much stuff as possible.
I mean, they've got the N'Zoth in hand, so that does give them options. A lot of the Druid Warrior games we've seen in Hearthstone Global Games this year, the Warrior just hasn't drawn N'Zoth or its defenders, and it's just the end of everything. But this is a bit more interesting.
I really like as well the decision here for NCR to go for King Theoris instead, because there was a couple of lines he could have gone for with something like Starfall, or maybe like, you know, it's probably not the play, but Starfall, Innovate Starfall, to be able to clear off the board. But up against Warrior, you got to remember, most of their removal is symmetrical. So if you develop a big board while they have a big board, are they going to want to brawl that? Are they going to want to Whirlwind Plague of Wrath that? Not really. So I think a lot of the time you're left in a position where they're left with some pretty unfavorable trades, and you can hopefully then Starfall and push phase.
Yeah, nice to see the Theoris played early. We saw Russia yesterday get into pretty much a pickle by not playing it. You end up not wanting to play it towards the end of the game because you've got better things to be doing. Obviously, with scenarios in hand, it's a big deal, but you just want to play it. It's not really a card to hang on and do great things with. It's like a bad evolved shaman turn. You make stuff and you move on.
Everything is like a bad evolved shaman.
This is also true. So this turn's a difficult turn, not because it's hard to maintain the current board, but this is the turn where you decide, what do I want in the end game and what am I going to throw away? Because every end game card you might possibly want is in your hand.
Good point, good point.
So you need to choose now. I mean, I've beaten Warrior with infinite scenarios, just for instance, but that's not really ideal. So maybe you just get it out of your hand now.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing you've got to think about here is you have a little bit of a board. So I think given how bad Starfall is the majority of the time, you do want to try and get some value out of that while you can, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And again, playing Kun here, this is... I was going to say this is a problem, but it's not, because this is a created by Kun, so it's fine. Yep. But again, sometimes you just play the Kun and go for a different endgame. That's the versatility of this Elise banker nonsense, is you can use 1 or 2 of your win cards. Not like the Count Bees version where you sort of have to hang on to one of each. This, you just find a card and win with it.
This is such a good bit of sequencing for NCR. I really like that he played the King Theoris first. Like I said, Letta's own minions were kind of an umbrella that forced him into not using the Brawl because he didn't want to destroy his own minions. And then NCR went for the double Starfall to clear the board thereafter. Was able to push through a fair bit of damage. You know, 9 is not nothing at all. And he's able to get these Starfalls out of his hand, which were basically just clogging things up. I think this was some very, very nice sequencing.
Yeah, and getting the board, again, we talk about the end game, but getting the board influences the end game because you stop the Warrior developing how it wants to.
Yeah.
It's not that these are ever going to, well, most likely not going to kill anybody, although looking at the board they might. It's just, that's a whole turn now that Italy basically messed around.
Yeah, exactly. And NTR's back on the initiative. This is great for them. Because we got to remember as well, eventually Hakar is going to be found, which is Disaster Town for NTR.
I do wonder actually if that's why we're seeing Overflow sneak into some of these decks. I mean, it's a good card anyway, but quite often
That's
it's
a good
as
point.
much of a nuisance as otherwise. But
Yeah.
against a car, you just play Overflow, and yeah, sure, a car this.
Which is, you're of course alluding to the fact that if you overdraw a
Yes.
Corrupted Blood when you have 10 cards in hand, it does not shuffle back into your deck. It's simply burned out of existence, and you have effectively purged yourself of the infection of Corrupted Bloods.
Yeah, because something we'll see Norway do in this game most likely is not get their hand size too low if they can help it. Not that Druid ever has much of a choice anyway, because all of its cards either draw more cards or cost 10. So the hand naturally stays quite high. That's an irritating little man.
What to do?
I do sometimes wonder about this matchup if Warrior should just throw out Elysiana. Get Hakar in your hand, drop an Elysiana, and get some real Hearthstone cards.
Interesting.
Just because the matchup is so grim.
Yeah.
Just try and high roll it.
Maybe. I mean, I think first of all, like you said, I mean, you said it right. Her car has to be found first. Then you can throw it down. Then you play the Elise. I agree. After they found their car and played it, it's definitely something to consider if they're not on.
Time waits for no one.
And yeah, it's all hand dependent and everything, but I'm looking forward to the game where eventually it happens that somebody just dumps a silly Elysiana out there, acknowledging the fact that they're not winning the long game.
That was actually a very, very important point that we almost missed there, which was the decision between Kun the Forgotten King and the Keeper of the Grove, which is a silence effect. It's basically the only way that Druid has access to silence, and you know, if her car comes down and you're able to just zap it with a silence, that is a huge deal in terms of your overall game plan. So it's interesting to see here that NTR is favoring like the tempo and the combo ability of Kun the Forgotten King as opposed to the silence to take to get rid of the Hakar. And
yes,
honestly, I'm not certain that I agree with it.
I mean, it's interesting. The whole turn was interesting because they just chose damage over killing Thaurissan.
Yeah.
I know the Thaurissan's largely there for the Banker, Elysiana, etc. But you know, giving a warrior access to very, very cheap removal spells, doubly reduced, is not a decision for the light heart, the host faint of heart. If Thaurissan wins this brawl, which I think Norway was sort of relying on the fact there would be a brawl at worst case, and Thaurissan probably wouldn't win it. This game might get interesting now.
Zephyrus answers the car. Okay, yeah, fair enough. If you're able to maneuver Zephyrus to go there, that's a fair point.
Yeah, the other thing is you can't do too much about it because they just can shield slam it.
Yeah, it goes so many layers deep, right? Like if they shield slam it straight away, there's nothing you can do about it.
Which is a pretty big deal for Letter to have a 0 mana shield slam. But of course, if you silence it, it's resurrected back to the Zoth. But if you hex it, then it won't be.
Yeah, despite the fact we present this as a dual card game, there's a lot of interplay that, like you say, goes level upon level. How you want to approach that 2-card game. Can you just stop having Kun the Forgotten Kings, please? Actually, the answer is no, because they're going to start leasing and bankering stuff soon.
Yeah, it's going to get a bit silly. It is going to get a bit silly. So I guess the real thing now for NTI is to try and develop so much onto the board every single turn that even though Letter has access to Shield Slam on his Akar on the same turn, that won't even matter because NTR has so much pressure that as soon as he goes for that basically 10 mana do nothing turn in terms of tempo, he'll just be dead to like Zephyrus Bloodlust or something like that.
Yeah, it's this 2-pronged attack that is so powerful with Druid. And again, covering up that weak spot that I was saying sometimes comes about at the end of the deck. They've done that just by having the board the entire game.
Yeah.
You're not going to Nazoth somebody down here if they're on 78 life and have 6 minions on the board. playing precisely with Druid is really hard at the end, even though it normally doesn't matter. Like I say, I've ended up with like, oh, I've got to do infinite scenarios, and you realise, okay, well that's fine.
Yeah.
This is still wins. It's not. I've obviously played imperfectly somewhere to end up in that spot, but actually, it just still wins.
Time waits for no
So,
one.
be interesting to see the precision of Hunter Ace and NTR when it gets to the end,
What
or otherwise, of course. Interesting, they're choosing to hold on to Loti as part of their end game package.
Ooh.
Had multiple chances to dump it on the board if they wanted rid of it.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. This gets interesting now. There is the Hakar available. This, however, is undeniably too much pressure. You cannot go with Hakar Shield Slam quite yet. But then it gets more interesting because if you don't take any damage off the board, they're going to chip away your armor, and at that point, you won't even be able to go with a Shield Slam on the same turn to be able to kill off the Hakar.
I'm wondering if you just have to do it anyway. You've got to work out, will we be in the same position next turn? Is the pressure just going to come back? And at this point,
he's just dead to Zephyrus, right? Like, how much damage is available? It's
yeah.
10, 16, 17 plus the 15 that would come from Bloodlust. Like, that's just GG.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, of course. I think I suppose you could work out.
But board cleared, 17 armor. This does mean that unless we see a very, very large amount of development from NTR on this exact turn, it could be the case that it's still just too much. Unless there's a huge amount of development, Letta will have the time to play Hakar, shield slam it, and start destroying NTR's chances of winning because of all these corrupted bloods.
The trouble is, Elise just fills your hand. Obviously, it may destroy the combo part, but
yeah,
you then still have to win. I guess they've got Nazoth. So this is the interesting part now. If you've been having a bit of a nap while you're waiting to get to the interesting part, wake up. The alarm is going.
Thanks for that, because I was.
This is the part where we can watch and learn.
So this is potentially an Elise turn because you copy.
Time waits for no
What, with 6 cards in hand, you get the important ones in the Banker and the Zephyrus, and another Kun, the Forgotten King as well.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't want to go for that quite yet. Like, it could just be Elise plus Banker. That's something to consider on this turn.
Okay.
But instead, NTR,
Set up.
yeah, exactly, takes a hand of turn of hand dumping to set up for the Elise on the following turn. Copy the Floop as well. I mean, sure, this is fine as well. Probably slightly better just because these cards he's dumped are, while not useless, quite poor.
The other problem with this Hakar play that we're going to see, which is basically their only play, is that next turn they really want to play Elysiana. But that's another turn where if you're facing a wide board, and they will be facing a wide board, looking at this hand, you won't be able to play Elysiana. So yours at risk of blood to everyone else, but the blood goes for Norway first, which makes things that little bit more irritating for them.
I mean, you say that a little bit more irritating. I think that's just GG at this point. Like, their Highlander cards are unable to be activated for the rest of the game because I don't believe they have the ability to get up to 10 cards anymore. Whereas, I mean, if they'd gone with the Elise play last turn, they would have been able to overdraw the blood. And so maybe that was just better, actually. That probably was actually just a lot better, right? Like, if they don't dump the cards from hand and instead go Elise plus Banker, they go up to 10 cards.
They
could, if they go Elise Banker, that's 9 cards in hand. They could then draw 1 and then just start overdrawing deliberately in order to play around the corrupted bloods.
Yeah, the game's not over for 2 reasons though. First of all, they might be able to set up so they can overdraw later. That looks like they're not going for it. Or they can do what they are going to go for and hope the opponent cannot kill this massive board. Which there's a Plague of Wrath there and a Nazoth, but they can't kill the rest of it.
Yes. I don't know. I just think that NTR. Maybe I'm being stupid here, but it's been known to happen before. but I think that there was maybe a chance that you could have
Right.
gone for the play I was talking about, of just deliberately fill up your hand with gubbins and then overdraw the blood. Even though it doesn't happen every time, sometimes you still just end up drawing it off the top straight away. But it gives you the best chance of fighting back against Hakar.
Yeah. And you feel you're going to win anyway. I mean, my preference is to always just try and overdraw it, and if I waste a couple of my cards, so be it. They had everything they needed. They weren't
Yeah.
under any pressure. It didn't feel like they needed to take the chance. Obviously, your opponent might play the Hakar. They won't play the Hakar if you've got 10 cards in hand, so you've got to have a board. But they had a bit of a board.
Yeah.
I mean, the play to me seems to just be N'Zoth here. That should injure enough things that you wipe them out the turn after.
Agreed. And again, Zephyrus no longer active, so the
Yeah.
Mass Dispel is not a possibility at this point either.
I think this is the first time I've actually seen the Hakar work as well. I mean, I know how it works, but
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
you usually find that the Druid can just overdraw it.
yes, a lot of things need to go right to be able to activate the Hakar, but
Did they-
it's the only real chance you have.
Maybe they picked a good turn to do it, and maybe Norway thought, okay, if they do it next turn, it's only a 1 in 4, and we win all the other games.
Do they
So
though?
they won't go for it. Maybe they didn't
Yeah.
think they'd go for it for another turn because there's still 4
Maybe.
cards.
Maybe.
Because if it goes to the bottom of your deck and you're overdrawing, you've got 4 turns without picking up a card.
Yeah. Or I guess again, maybe their thinking was just our best chance of winning is if Hakar is their bottom card, which is fair enough. If you've got to take that chance, you've got to take that chance.
Yeah, I think Italy have played this superbly again. They picked a spot where they were pretty unfair. There's no doubt that if they don't draw the blood, Norway just put up their hand and wait.
Yeah, I think this was some very, very strong Hearthstone. They knew
So
exactly
Italy-
what they were doing.
They picked a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 shot, and they said that'll do.
Yeah.
This matchup is so grim. Now the second N'Zoth will.
Yeah, just more pressure from the Oasis Surges. It's not much, but it's gonna have to do.
Meanwhile, at the other side of the board, it's now possible to lose. No, it's not. There's only 4 now. It's fine. Wait, brain. Come on, brain, work. No, I was thinking that there might be a way that Norway could board lock Letter here, so he ends up never being able to play Elysiana and dies to the blood sometimes. But the Loti being poisonous means that they always have the sacrifice to make space for the Elysiana. No, it's the wrong colour, NTR. It's not yellow. Sorry. So they're just going to use their minions as minions now.
Yeah, it's the only chance they've got, and I mean, we both know it's not going to work at this point.
Yeah, we're both just excited there trying to work out what is the cheat win. And
Yeah.
I guess it's where there's no Plague of Wrath, you hack through this lot, and you know they've got to play Elysiana, so that's one turn where you sort of get a bit of leeway.
This story deserves.
Yeah, and it's safe. Yeah, they give it up. They've done the numbering. They've checked the Elysiana was in hand. And
Yep.
2-0 Italy.
That's right. Very, very densely complicated game there at the end. And it is time now for everyone's favourite segment of Norway as a team are smarter than Derek, where I was just messaged by Tomirio, another Norwegian player who's not on the Global Games team, letting me know that the play I was thinking of going for the Elise turn one turn earlier gave them a 50% chance to win, whereas their play of going for Elise the turn after would have worked if they hadn't drawn the blood right off the top, which was a 1 in 4.
Yeah.
So hey ho, what do you know? They're better Hearthstone players than I am. I got that one wrong, but yeah, if that is
that's kind
correct,
of where I was going with the Italy thing. Italy picked a spot where Norway couldn't go for it. I'll take Tomarino's word for the numbers. And so Italy knew they couldn't go for it, so they went for their highest chance as well, which is that 25%.
right?
And that goes to 2-0, which is a big deal. Italy are 1 game away from getting through to next week. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment. Italy on the brink of going to the top 16. But first, they've got to get a win with a deck that Derek was saying might be the sticking point, and we have said it a lot, this Rogue deck.
Yeah, we have. It feels like a weird spot where the Rogue is the deck that we feel is the weak point, and it has been living up to that a fair bit. But at the same time, the Shaman, the best deck in the game, has also been getting reverse swept a fair bunch here. But I think given this game, you're still 2-0 up as Italy. I think that Turner should still be in a very good spot to take this series, but he does have a couple of bad matchups to get through first. I'm talking about Druid, and I'm talking about the Shaman as well on Norway's side that they have left. And if he can't get through those matchups, he's going to be in some big trouble until he gets through to that Priest. That one I'd say is an ever so slightly favorable matchup for the Rogue, maybe a bit more than that, pretty favorable. But first of all, got to get through the Druid.
Yeah, and unless they draw the big boys, the Questing Adventurer or the Edwin, it makes it so much harder. And the deck isn't... It's not designed around those 2 cards, this particular deck. They're in there because they're good and they can do their thing. But they're borderline as afterthoughts in the deck these days. Because there's no preparation, etc. to help really do the stupid, cheaty stuff.
Do you remember the good old days with the questing adventurer conceal rogue, where you had counterfeit coin and prep for 3 mana? Oh,
this is coming from the guy who made top 3 or top 4 legend with token shaman last season. You can see where Derek's preferences lie, everybody.
I like broken stuff. What can I say?
It's fair. Why not play broken stuff if there's broken stuff to play? It's a good point.
But here we go. Jumping into the matchup. Generally, I think we can both agree that while early game belongs to the rogue, undeniably, the mid-game catch-up mechanisms from the Druid are so powerful that it doesn't really make all too much difference how much the rogue dominates early on, because most of their minions are actually pretty low attack.
Yeah, they sort of do 14 or something, just to put a random number on it, and and then the hidden oasis. There is only 1 hidden oasis for Norway. It shouldn't matter, but in the decks with 2 hidden oasis, the rogue just never gets it done.
Yeah,
they just heal for 12, and that's kind of it, because they clear the boards on turns 5 and 6, and then you just fold up into a corner. And the rogue really has no direct damage anymore either.
Yeah, I mean, they do outside of taunts. If there are taunts in the way, I agree.
Right, that's what I meant.
Yes. But, you know, given that there is only 1 hidden oasis in the deck for NTR, maybe a Wagpick and a Leroy will be able to get over the finish line.
This MC Tech is so lovely on this turn.
It is pretty good. That's pretty nice.
I mean, it's not astounding, and there is only, again, I believe, there's just 1 in the deck, so not playing around it would have been incorrect, but having it was rather nice. We've talked about teams a little bit, but NTR I think is a really good foil for Hunter Ace. He's one of the calmer players out there, I think. And Hunter Ace can get a bit excitable if he's made a mistake. Even if he's won, if he makes a mistake, he's not comfortable with himself. And someone like NTR is perfect, I think, for saying, well, you know, shut up, Casper, play Hearthstone, you're good at it, we're fine. All is well.
Also, I'd be really interested to know who... I mean, it's very difficult to measure, but like, who's the better player at the moment? Because obviously, I think overall it's pretty undeniable that Hunter Ace is a better player than NTR. Like, I wouldn't say by that much, but the tournaments that he's had, and just I think his overall skill is higher than that of NTR. But NTR is a fantastic blooming Hearthstone player. Like, he is a very, very smart man. And also, NTR has been playing a lot more ladder than Hunter Ace has recently, I assure you. When I was going for the finish last month, you know, there were a few people who were up at the top of Legend on Europe. MTR was at the top of Legend on 2 servers, which hardly anyone is at the moment.
Wow.
Now that you don't get points for ladder. He has just been grinding away like a madman. And I think you could actually make the argument, given his in-depth understanding of the meta, that he's just a bit better.
That wouldn't surprise me, actually. That might sound silly to some people, because Hunter Ace is better than everybody. It's not an insult to NTR to say Hunter Ace is better than him. But there are players who didn't get a chance to make much on the scene last year, the way things worked out. Maybe they missed a qualifier or 2 or whatever. There's a whole group of players, I mean, Turner and Letter as well, looking for HCG to really finish their year off nicely. And NTR, he had a reasonable year, but he'll be looking to be in that bracket of players. Look at me, I'm NTR.
And he's going to be doing a pretty good job of that at the moment, if he wants to get his start right now by winning this game. He's got the Nourish and the Wrath to be able to clear up the board. Taunt in the way, the single copy of Hidden Oasis found. Just innovate into King Fioris on the following turn will probably just win the game. I am very much liking his chances in this series.
Yeah, this is make a huge Edwin, see what happens, and expect to lose turn for me. Because things only go downhill from here.
Yeah.
I guess, especially as they have the Myras in hand, just emptying out some of this stuff over the next turn or 2 is your chance. This Colossus of the Moon is not going to work for you. You're not going to do a Mexico. Just forget it's in your hand. It's clutter. Your hand size is now 9. Maximum hand size is now 9. dump it all, draw some more cards, and hope you can somehow beat them. Because if they don't have the Hidden Oasis, maybe, or the King Ferris, maybe that works.
Yeah.
But they do.
Right, wanted. I like this. Get yourself a coin. That's a bigger Edwin. Maybe this is big enough to do something. What is this now? 10-10?
10, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
That's all good.
The Brotherhood shall come.
All right. This is a board that can win. This can sometimes get there.
Agreed. No Loti.
No Loti.
I mean, Ferris is just too. Yeah, that's the play you're going to make if you can't find a play that works. If you don't get a taunt, you just lose. If you get one taunt, you probably just lose as well.
I think I probably prefer the line of like start with Ferocious Howl and then lightly go into
Yeah, you're probably not dead just from the 9 armor. Probably buys you another turn. Worst case scenario.
That's a big pickup though. Next turn, that means
That's
if you go
next turn.
for Hidden Oasis this turn, and then you go double Oasis Surge next turn, that would allow you to take out the Edwin.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to Starfall this turn instead. Oh no, they've still got the Innovate, so they can still do it. Oh, they've got Loti now.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I think you take that in case they play a big questing to follow up on this Edwin. It's kind of the only way you lose now, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I'm fine with this line. They effectively never die because they're at what 28 health. So even Leroy stepped Leroy, not dead. So sure.
Yes, 16 from hand needed, not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Loti means that they're fine as well, so they can hit an Oasis and Loti.
Yeah, I think this was a really good line to take. Actually, it turns the Floop into an Oasis Surger preemptively as well, so it could just be the Hidden Oasis plus Floop Oasis Surger, which looks very, very strong.
Italy proceeding with their plan like they were going for.
And it comes down to a what? That is not a Leroy Jenkins, which probably means that Turner is in a little bit too difficult of a situation to win this one.
So they've got Shadow Step on their Swash and Double Burglar to find things, or try to find things, over the next 2 turns. Don't think anything gets them more. Oh, Blink Fox as well. They have outs.
They have outs, sure.
Just not very good ones. Oh, and that is yellow.
Skipped ahead for a second. But yes.
So on top of all the other things we just discussed, they also have Zephyrus to save the day if everything somehow manages to go wrong, which it shouldn't ever. I think one of us is having problems. Can you hear me, Derek?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. It's probably me that's having problems then. Hidden Oasis Loti's the small brain play.
Power takes many.
Okay, so Zephyrus into Silence, probably the play you think about and realise it's rubbish.
Yeah, if you can get away with not playing Zephyrus, you may as well, right? Just in case they have something like, I don't know, Colossus of the Moon, for example.
Yeah. Just a reminder that when you sap this 6/6, it's not going to give them health when they replay it, so it is a sappable target. For the sake of talking about something while they try and find miracles from these.
Earthen Might? Actually, you probably have to take the Master Spell, right, to try and get through taunts. It's all so bad. It's all so bad.
Well, Master's Call does nothing. Is that better or worse than
nothing.
fatiguing the heck out of yourself?
I'm going to go ahead and say worse, because, like... yeah, I guess this makes sense, even though it's bad.
So the sappable target is sapped. And 3 damage connects with the face. And they can't even re-dagger because they want to spend all their mana next turn.
Right. Baseline play, I'm thinking War Druid Loti plus Starfall is a perfectly good play. Clears off the board. You can even attack. Oh no, wait. Yeah. So you
just
could
wait.
have attacked to make a taunt, but you just don't.
Yeah, you just wait with the Loti.
Yeah.
In case they go questing, I don't know, and stuff. Somehow make a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure NTR had figured out that this was Colossus of the Moon at this point. If it hadn't been played for this long, what else could it be? And to that, I mean, honestly, I don't even know what Zephyrus offers here. If you were to play it,
Scenarius,
I guess
Innovate, Zephyrus, give yourself silence.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
kill it with the Loti, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah, I guess it would offer silence. But, yeah.
There's probably better options than the one I just came up with, but well, you don't even need silence. It might give you Inner Rage, and then you just prop the shield that way.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it would still come back as a reborn then, right? Which is
sure.
But yeah, I don't know if like big reborn silence offers polymorph there or hex. I don't even know if he needs to, honestly. Like he's just.
I don't think he needs to, but this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. I'm interested to see how they do it, even when they don't need to, because that is definitely very much a Hunter Ace thing. Oh, they're just gonna go for twisting now. They're not take any chances. That doesn't work. So it comes back.
That doesn't work. Yeah, hex. Okay.
Hex.
Oh, it gives the
hex on 8.
I wasn't even sure that it would give mind control, given that it doesn't have the mana. But it tells me that with double Vate, that is a stolen Colossus of the Moon. Yeah, that's a Keck siege return, I think.
Yeah, final concession there goes to 1. And it's this rogue deck again, but it's still got 2 more chances.
Yeah, couple more shots to try and take the win. I'm not sure what order Norway are going to go for. It seems to be the style that players are going for, where they're being I mean, I was going to say sore losers. That's definitely not the word for it. But where they queue up the least favorable matchup for their opponent, or the most favorable matchup for their opponent last, just to extend everyone's time, even though it makes no difference whether they lose 3-2 or 3-0.
It's just but the Hunter Ace way. He was at DreamHack Winter and had a bad, by his standards, first day. It was, I don't know, 3-3 or even 2-4. It was Hunter Ace's worst moment of the year.
Yeah.
And he came back the next day and played, and I'm like, why are you playing? He goes, oh, I want your rating point system. I want to earn some more points on it. Like,
oh yeah, I remember.
He just wants to win Hearthstone, man. Because the ratings is irrelevant, right? He was always going to be in the top 2 on that anyway, whatever. But he just wanted to play some more Hearthstone and beat some more people. So it's absolutely in character to just keep going and get the 2 all, even if you think you might lose.
Brilliant. Right, starting things off, this is far from an ideal anti-rogue hand, but it's far from the worst anti-rogue hand I think I've ever seen. Lickim is a pretty good card against rogue. Most of their minions have 3 or less health, so that should be a pretty good way to counteract their early damage.
This is, however, a very good anti-shaman hand. Because it has a load of 1-drops and an Edwin and a coin.
I was going to say there that I actually quite like holding on to the Sludge Slurp because it allows you to go lick him on 2 and then get a couple of turns of overload to go along.
That's an important time with Blink Foxes and Burglars.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But they get pretty lucky here with the Titanic Lucky. That is quite far and away the best one-hit testing outside of maybe Faceless Lucky.
And decision time for Italy. Because one problem with making this Edwin even a 6/6 is it's going to be a pass on this turn.
Right.
And if you just pass too much against Shaman makes a million things and kills you with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in the end, I
like this.
4-4 will be. The Brotherhood shall come.
A 4/4 for 3 is actually a pretty good Hearthstone card. You'd play that card in a lot of decks.
Really would. But it does beg the question of, is it good enough? Because there were there was one main other line that I was looking at that Letter could have gone for, which was of course hero power, and then I guess stab the Sludge Slurper once and then stab it again next turn, even though that's quite a lot of damage you're taking.
That's actually the line I was thinking about.
Yeah, right. And then you just make a 6/6 on the following turn, which is like pretty good actually.
Thing is, if they play just a hare, because it's not ladder, so there's no fan. If they just then play hare into that play, plus your play kind of telegraphs your hand to some extent at that point. Even so, I was tempted by it as well.
Definitely.
But we're already getting to see just how that play is working out nicely for them.
Huh. Again, I was wondering there if just questing was better, because like it probably gets answered in all honesty, but maybe it stops your opponent from going for a the line is something just like hare evolve. Like if they have the dream hand of hare plus evolve, then going for questing them might have disrupted them from doing that, perhaps, or at least made it less good for them.
Yeah, questing plays are tough.
They really are.
I've always found that playing questing at the right time was such a challenge.
Yeah.
Because the dream scenario, you play it on a protected board, but that's not happening in this game of Hearthstone. The Shaman's either going to beat you quickly, or you're going to run them out of stuff quickly.
Well, either way, it would have just died on this board, so it probably worked out a bit better for Letta in this exact situation. It worked out quite a bit better, actually. But I do wonder if it was maybe slightly better just to go for it for the risk, or at least disruption on your opponent's side of the board. But either way.
I mean, the other option is maybe they felt they were so... Even though we felt they were in a fairly decent-ish spot, maybe they felt it was too slow and they just wanted to get lucky off the Fox and get something even better. Like a lightning storm.
I think Stormbringer doesn't even draw anything at this point, right? Now that Myra's has been found.
Stormy.
Sounds right. Let's play. Yeah, just occupying board. It's just what the matchup's all about, obviously. That's what a lot of Hearthstone matches are all about, but...
Yeah, exactly.
It's so tempting to spend your mana and play bigger things, but just have anything on the board and you're there.
This is just the better setup, but for Stormbringer as well, which I really like.
Give me a quest.
Alright, finally time. Questing hits the board. This is, I guess, as good a time as any to hope that it'll stick around.
There's actually a decision here. Because you can just bloodlust.
I think I like Mogo on this turn. This Sludge Slug on this turn, because it allows you to take out the questing very nicely. And when you throw in the Vicina as well, and it still just curves beautifully into Stormbringer, I think this is a very worthwhile diversion.
Yeah, Vicina actually doing something.
PogChamp.
It's definitely one of the weaker cards. I get why it's in there. I get that it's a mini Bloodlust. I can see what it's going to do on this turn and absolutely destroy the opponents. But it does nothing so often.
I mean, Vicina is such a weird card because it is one of the most grossly over-statted and over-affected cards you've ever seen in Hearthstone. But I agree, most of the time it's just not that good. At least in the current versions of the deck. I think if the busted parts like Evolve and Mogu got nerfed, it would definitely come into it. Because it is a very powerful.
Yeah. It would be a superb card in that version, I agree. Especially as people... There seems to be this war in every single token Shaman deck. I know it's like, how much overload do I want, and how many things that need activating by overload do I want?
Yeah.
And people at the moment seem to be cutting overload cards out, which is weakening Vicina.
Right. Pretty good use of the Electra Storm Surge there to take out the Vicina. Mitigates the damage drastically, but it does still mean that there is time for a very, very powerful Stormbringer on this turn. And he's got to go for it, right? Like, you're never doing anything else in this.
Definitely doing it. I guess he's wondering if he needs to trade into anything first.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go Bloodlust plus Evolve, but I think Stormbringer on average just gives you so much stats.
Yeah, I think you're always doing it. They were just double checking there was nothing worth That's some numbers.
Yeah, I guess you evolve the Vol'jin. Get a 6-drop.
Don't see why not.
Is just the beginning.
All I need now is the Zoth.
Why not at this point?
Death battle nonsense.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that Casper can have fun with it at
I was
least.
gonna say you're laughing at his little face, aren't you? Now the cap's come off and the wind has started.
He's just so cute. Look at him. He's a simple man. He just likes beating his opponents, and he's a happy chappy.
It's like the happy version of Sottle, who likes beating his opponents, so he's slightly less miserable.
Well, no, it's exactly like this version of Sottle, except this one actually wins, so he's happy sometimes.
Wow.
I'm out of cards.
Right, that's not a bad selection. You got a Sap and a Vendetta to clear some of this off the board, and I'm not seeing much better than that.
And you do see why teams queue their favourable matchups as early as possible in this 2-0 situation.
Yeah.
You do start getting that feeling, oh no, we can't win with our rogue if you're not careful. These guys are way too experienced for that, but hey, why not?
Right, 14 damage, plus 6, that equals more than 19. Tick, next game.
Right, putting a tick down. If you're wrong, I'm sending you the bill for more paper.
Am I wrong? No, I'm not, okay.
No, you're not wrong, you're dead right.
I was starting to doubt myself.
I love it when you doubt yourself, Derek. It makes you feel superior for 2 milliseconds.
Right, there we go. Game 5 coming up between Italy and Norway. It was a pretty exciting game there that we had. It does mean that the Rogue still is left without a win. So it's only up against the Priest, which, as I was saying at the start, I feel like is probably the best chance for it to take that win that it needs.
Yeah, Rogue has so many ways of controlling that Priest early game. You know, the likes of Backstab, the likes of Vendetta, Sap if things get out of hand. It's just got the tools, as well as being able to exert the wide board that the Priest can't deal with, or basically can't deal with. When they start doing Pyromancer things, yeah.
And already in Letta's hand, what looks like the head, left, and right arm of Exodia ready to go with double Vendetta plus Swashbuckler. That is a very, very powerful anti-priest hand.
Yeah, I think you just keep the Letta's sort of laughing about it. I think the question was, do we? And the answers come back yes. It's like, do we just keep this rubbish-looking hand that's actually amazing?
Not a terrible hand for Hunter Ace either. I mean, up against...
It's a terrible hand, but it's great against the cards you're up against.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Like, double Vendetta does really hurt.
Oh,
Oh
double
my goodness.
Vendetta Edwin, though. That really hurts. Man.
So that's turn 4 worked out, anyway.
Yeah.
Derek's not noticing Horthlol in chat. He'll be sad.
I am!
Plenty of synergy here. That's what this priest deck does, but nothing to actually do. He is going to go for the same play he went for in game 1, which is just hammer into Psychopomp. By the look of it. Because why wouldn't you? Now you might not, because your opponent's 3 kept and you're very scared.
I mean, it has to be coin hammer into Psychopomp here. Like, there's just no other line.
I see a dark future.
Hoi, oi, 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 oi.
Letta's just fidgeting because...
Do you even go? I guess you could work it out, because you don't actually have to go Edwin on this turn, right? You could just go Vendetta plus Evil Miscreant plus Lackey, which leaves you with the same amount of attack on board. You're definitely expecting Psychopomp on the following turn. But if you then have Backstab, Vendetta, Swing, plus your minions, you can still easily deal with the Psychopomp while making a bigger Edwin on the following turn because you have the lackeys.
Counter to that is if you make a 6/6 Edwin now with either backstab or the double vendetta,
Yes.
probably backstab, that deals with the reincarnation anyway, because you've got
Yeah.
a 6/6 on the board.
I think I slightly prefer this line of deviating away because it still gives you a strong turn. You know, you're still developing onto the board,
Yeah.
making a powerful play, and you still have an even bigger Edwin that can potentially come down on the following turn. It could
No,
even
sure.
be double lackey next turn with Edwin. It could be like a 12/12.
What we both agreed on is that both plays looked terrific right from that opening hand. Hunter Ace with... Is this still his favourite deck? I assume it is at the moment.
I have no idea.
I know he loved this deck for a long time.
I think Battlegrounds is his favourite deck at the moment.
Battlegrounds is most people's favourite deck at the moment, I think. To be fair.
Dark future.
Right, it's time for the turn here. Edwin is coming down on this turn, and it is going to absolutely destroy. I don't see much of a way back into this game for Hunter Ace after that happens.
No, very difficult to see it.
Boy, can you buff it with the Spirit of the Bat as well? That's pretty good. Hey, there we go.
I see a dark future.
My goodness. Yeah, dark future for Norway in this particular match, I think. They do, of course, get another go at his double elimination. They will be playing against the winners of our next match, Germany and Poland, whoever loses this. Does look for all the world like it's Norway. It's going to be the typical priest double whammy. You play one big thing and a load of small things, and unless they have like silence into pyromancer, into stuff, they just cannot deal with it.
Alright, there we go. Oh, it's not often you see an odd-numbered Edwin. Hey, that's...
I was just going to ask if that makes you happy. Yeah.
That's like, do you remember in like, I think it was like beta, or maybe even alpha, when Edwin used to be a 1/1 that had stealth, and it was the most busted card ever?
I didn't get a key very early.
It
The
was
card
busted.
game team I was on beforehand, I think they deliberately stopped me from getting a key.
Oh,
Don't know why
yeah.
they wouldn't want to get rid of me, but yeah. I had to play the first actual season.
Wow. I remember back at the start, I got a beta key early, but I didn't realize it was in the wrong folder of my Gmail account. It was in
Oh,
like
no.
spam or something, and so I had to wait 2 weeks longer than I actually could have done. Simpler times, simpler times. But
Happier times.
yeah,
Simpler times.
I think that's pretty clearly going to mean that even with a 12 health minion available at the absolute maximum, that quite clearly doesn't even come close to winning this game.
Yeah. To check the build just in case. Yeah, I mean there is double pyromancer as you'd expect, but that's got to come very, very fast.
Yeah, okay. Silence helps, of course, to be able to clear up a lot of the stats off the board.
I mean, I guess.
And now that means that we are looking at how much damage to be able to clear off this 16 health. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's 9 on board if you count the dagger, I think.
Yeah, so not quite able to clear everything off. So that's a bit annoying. But actually, with the Spirit of the Bat, well, you're able to buff up the
Yeah.
underbelly fencer. But now we are actually looking at, with the silence coming in for Hunter,
Yeah.
a chance back into the game. You know, with the Nephthys Ritualist, if you can hit that into a inner fire on the next couple of turns, this is an avenue back into the game for Hunter. It's in a match that looked absolutely over.
Yeah, I had seen the silence, but I hadn't seen the relevance of how big they could make this thing to go along with it. And there is still Myra's sap next turn. Almost certainly available.
Is someone injured?
And even though that sounds like, oh, they'll start fatiguing. Yeah, they'll fatigue for 2 turns until they kill the opponents.
Oof. Pretty big bit of development here for Hunter Race to try
Yeah.
and swing things back. Still that 16 health minion that can't be dealt with quite yet.
Oh, and Circle of Healing as well, if they want it. Just take
Circle
it.
of Healing. Oh yeah, you absolutely jam that.
Just take it.
3 cards plus a bunch of health. Sign me
And then
up.
Miles in front, except for the fact that Myra's usually will say no here. Myra's into sap, and then you can just clear the board as it stands.
Probably, yeah.
But if they miss the sap, and there's 2 saps in, again, I can't see how many cards, but I don't know, 15 or something. They should get one. They've got it.
Yep, there it is.
And now you just clear up the board. And although that was scary for a moment, they can just go about their business. They've even got the backstab to get rid of
Yeah,
the 11
backstabs is
minions on boards.
So now we're looking at what has to be probably a board clear from Hunter Ace in the form of Pyromancer if he wants to swing things back, or maybe a High Priest Amit to get the job done.
I think this was a game where the Amit went really early. I guess from the Psychopomp has come back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
like upon rezzing it.
So they've got a couple of high roll chances. Pyromancer won't get it done because they just haven't got any spells at all.
Yep.
They haven't got time to get them.
I like the trades, higher health minions to play around Pyromancer.
There it is.
Yeah, nothing doing though.
So take 2. Can you make a 7 health thing just to make things awkward? Yes.
Okay, that's a good draw.
Got the sidekick.
Hey, I got you, friend.
But they're dead, right? Oh, there's no Leroy.
How much damage they basing down?
There's an eviscerate, so 8.
9, 10, 14, 18, 22.
Handy. Seems like an important number right now.
Oh no, wait, that's with the Waggle pick, but the Holy Fire does offer lethal. Yes.
Have they got the mana for the Holy Fire? Well, yes, because I've still got the eviscerate. Okay.
Holy Fire, yes, that is just lethal. Right?
Can I get through the 2/6 as well, actually? Just
Not with
noticed
the
taunt.
2/6 in the way, that makes it harder, yeah. So first of all, they've got to clear that out of the way.
So this is the opposite turn to what we were just talking about. Because it probably isn't lethal, you just get everything on the board,
Yes, yeah.
clear the
100%.
board, and then next turn dumpster them in the face. Oh no, that moment where Casper's worked out he's made a mistake in 1943. He's desperately going to try and review the play.
Choose soon.
Wow. Those are big spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, Siphon Soul, okay, in case something gets out of hand.
Yeah, you win next turn if something... I mean, you saw the Desperation Scramble this turn, so next turn's going to be even more of a Desperation Scramble. Letter's getting excited. I'm sure Turner's getting very excited because he likes to do that. Wow. The game that wouldn't die.
This is just going on and on and on. How is this not over?
And, I mean, there's a chance now of getting cards that they can pyro.
Yes. So
There's
he
also
should-
an outside chance of getting Acolyte on board.
Yeah, I like this trade a lot into the 5/2 because he needs to get a pyro activation here if he wants to stand a chance.
That doesn't appear to be
not
one.
it.
So this game that we said was over, that then wasn't over, that then was kind of over, I think is finally actually going to be over.
You have
Yeah.
best.
That's going to
Give
do it.
yourself a round of applause.
Ruling series there right at the end. And it does mean that Hunter Ace and NTR, unfortunately, are knocked down to the lower bracket, while Italy, very well played by them. I think, honestly, I was a bit surprised, given that, again, this group was such a stacked group of players, with Germany and Norway in particular, as 2 of the absolute premier teams in the Hearthstone Global Games. I think I underestimated Italy, in all honesty. They are not a team that, has a representative in Grandmasters. They haven't had quite the level of height of success that countries like Germany and Norway have in particular. But they did just play some very, very solid Hearthstone, I thought.
Yeah, they played solid in the last round as well. No really obvious, notable mistake. Good teamwork, good morale, good everything. I've said it about a good chunk of the teams who have gone through, but Italy looking like they are a team you don't want to play. Very quick shout out to Skak and Yokto, who are out there fighting qualifiers at the moment too. Skak came second last night for Arlington. And they're down to the last 2 or 3 days, and they've been fighting all the way. So good luck to those 2 in today's events. Get some more Italian representation in Arlington would be great. But that's them through, but it's not Norway out. Norway now will have to sit around and wait and see who wins the Germany-Poland match. So I think we should give Darek a break, don't you guys? Let's give Darek a break. We'll be back with Gallon in just a couple of minutes.